Alright, hello, time for another video. Thanks for joining. As always, I just ramble about what I'm learning this week, so I hope you enjoy and get some information or knowledge out of that and how you can yourself learn data science as quick as possible. Now, as always for these videos, I start off with a little shortened version and then I go into the whole thing. So for this week, the shortened version is that I did 2 chapters in the Think Python book. They went very well. I was super excited. I learned chapter 15 and 16, which were on classes, so object-oriented programming. There we go. Okay, so now to get into the nitty-gritty. So chapter 15 was on classes and objects. Now this chapter got me really excited in the beginning because it started talking about object-oriented programming, and that's something I hear about all the time. It's kind of like a buzzword for me when I hear about programming. And I knew very little other than it was a style of programming. And lo and behold, it's kind of what it is. It's a user-generated type. So you create a type, you call it a class, and then from that you can add attributes and you create an object, a class object, which is pretty cool and pretty interesting, and that got me really excited on what's to come, because the rest of the book is going to be on classes and object-oriented programming. And yeah, I just love to learn about something I always heard about. Now chapter 16, I'm still working on the questions. Chapter 15, I finished the whole chapter, finished the whole questions, and it went well. I really enjoyed it. Questions were not that difficult, so big thumbs up there. Now for chapter 16, I got a little bit confused. Chapter 16 was on classes and functions. So basically we're now using those objects and creating pure functions. Now why do I say pure functions, not just functions? Well, in the book they started talking about the difference between different programming styles and different methods of programming, and one of them was kind of like that pure function style. And in that one, that type of programming, you program trying to use functions as much as possible, and you avoid the use of modifier functions. So that's kind of like when you modify something, kind of to make a summation of an object. So you want to make the length of a square object longer, so in the function you do a little modifier, so you just do the length plus 50 to make it 50 longer. Now in the book they refer you to use pure functions as much as possible. We also talked a lot about using copy, so a way to use the copy module in order to copy objects at different lengths, because you can shallow copy an object and you can deep copy an object, and there's huge differences and ramifications of copying an object the wrong way. So that was all in chapter 16, and I'm still on the questions. They don't seem that hard, but I spent a lot of time this week actually working on this new website I found that's called Check.io. Now in Check.io, you basically play a game which consists of programming questions, specifically in Python, but I think it could be other languages, and you go hop from island to island looking for treasure or quest points. And it was really good to use in order to refresh my mind on what I had learned previously in the book. So I did the whole first island and a little bit of the second island, and I'm already to the point where it's past my programming knowledge. I can't answer anymore without learning more, but that's fine. At least now I know that I am improving. I passed the first level, which is cool. In the game, you basically have 10 questions per quest or something like that, And each question for me I found either kind of easy or kind of difficult. Now, the easy ones would take me 5 minutes to solve. It was instant. It's like I knew how to solve it. I knew the functions I needed. I knew the modules, and I just did it. Now, for the more difficult questions, it took me around 25 minutes. I timed myself using Pomodoro, so I kind of know that the hard ones would take me a whole session, so a whole 25 minutes. And yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this. I wonder how to make myself more efficient at programming, how I can answer those questions quicker. Will I, now that I've solved it, will I now be able to solve it faster next time I see it, or do I need to learn something else? Do I need to practice multiple times before I can solve that question quickly? I don't know, maybe you guys can help me out down in the comments, because I'm kind of lost when it comes to how to improve the speed of my programming. I understand there's always the repetition, but as we know, repetition isn't always the best. Maybe there's another thing that I'm missing in my learning programming knowledge. So that's kind of like the question for the day. If you guys can comment on what your thoughts are, and yep, that's it for this week. Next week, hopefully I can get 2 chapters, maybe a third, but it's looking like the speed of 2 chapters per week is kind of the speed now that things are a little bit more difficult and the questions take a lot more time. Okay, well, thanks for joining me, and see you next week. Peace.